now Integra is getting some work parts over here. It's like a little vlog. We're going to take these wheels and tires. These are off the Integra. I'm going to take these over to Dave Love, get him to remove the tires. Then we're going to take those wheels, the valve cover, and these parts over here to AB, get them to powder coat. I'm going to match all this. Still not exactly sure of the color of the wheel, but I know I want the wheel, the valve cover, and those parts to match, so we're going to get them done. All right, so this is what we're dropping off: wheels, valve cover, knickknacks. We're going to talk to him about a color again. So now for the Integra, it's time to put the suspension on. So this is the Skunk 2. This is the Pro ST. This is their latest suspension, a full coilover system. And we've been using the coilovers recently, put a few on a customer's cars, and George has them on his Civic, and we've had a really good success with these. So I want to do an unboxing. Now don't cringe, it's not going to be our regular unboxing where I just open it and cut the film. I'm going to actually show you what it looks like here. So stay tuned. Keep watching, I should say. So first thing we're going to have is we've got the wrenches. These are actually how you adjust the collars to change obviously the spring rate and the height. And of course they give you a nice Skunk 2 sticker. They give you a Skunk 2 book. This is pretty cool. They put it in with every product. It shows you their whole product line, so you can actually look at it and get an idea of it before you start shopping for it on their website. So each one is separately boxed here, as you see. Getting these out, and a little tight. Nicely packaged. I remember back in the day I used to get coilovers and they used to bounce around and they would poke a hole in the box, and sometimes the adjuster got broken, so it's pretty important having them boxed nicely. This is a rear. I mean, this stuff looks nice too. It used to have a silver on here and they changed to black for the ST. I like that. It looks cleaner. The silver, it didn't look bad, but it doesn't usually match everything on the car, so black obviously goes with everything. Let's take a look at one of these. Again, the package is important. Each one of them is bagged and individually boxed. So a nice thing about this stuff, it comes with the new top hats. The adjuster is super easy. It's not the really tiny thing that you can't get a hold of. It's got a decent size adjustment knob right here. So got our spring right here. These two are going to lock together. You can actually adjust this and actually pre-compress the spring. What I would usually do is we'd take all these apart, we'd adjust each one to get the same tension on the spring, and then this one is adjusting the height. This, if you zoom in, this threaded portion actually goes into here. There is like a little peephole here to get an idea of how much thread is actually in this tube. You don't want to run this out, so you've got very minimal thread. I'd like to see a good inch of thread in there, and then lock this piece down. But again, this is nice stuff. These are, of course, each one has the spring numbers on the side. These are close to the ones we've used in the past. Good feel, good ride control without getting too, bouncy and too stiff. These are a really good transition from spirited driving to, full-on track racing. This is a good setup. And again, we're going by using this on a few different cars now, including some feedback we got from customers. I'll put that in here pretty soon. We have a couple of customers that we've talked to that have had it on their car, so we can get actually their take on how it rides. All right, so another thing I wanted to show you is how well the wrenches fit there. These are often referred to as spanners. These are what you use to lock in the rings and obviously to break them loose. We've seen these often in the past where they don't fit very well, and when you're trying to adjust a car and your hands are in the fender well and you're trying to break it loose, if they don't fit right, you slip off, you damage this portion, of course, bust your knuckle. So do want to confirm how well this fits. This is the larger one. There is a larger one and a smaller one. Some of the kits we've used over the years, they're just the exact same and neither one fits. So the larger one fits on the larger ring. I'm gonna try and do it one-handed here. The smaller one fits on the smaller ring, and the do fit on there perfect. See if I can get a good shot of that. So of course, you know, one against the other one is how you break it loose. I've already tightened these, but again, broke loose, I'm not slipping off. So do want to confirm that this is a good fit. All right, so what do you think of the brakes? This was my idea for the caliper all along. This looks very clean, very OEM, and it should stand out against the wheels. Of course, you know, you're gonna see it like this. This is pretty much our brake package we use for the S2000. And like I've said in the past, we sell what we use and we use what we sell. We don't sell you one brand and then use something different because it's better. This is the combo that we use and we sell. Of course, Goodrich braided lines. These are the Skunk 2 Pro STs. I'm going to give you full feedback on these. Again, I don't sell something if I don't like it. So that's what's going on. The front brakes are done, working on the back ones. The new turbo is in. The lines are hooked up. You see one of the water lines right there. One is there, one goes to the back of the block. Update on the blow-off valve. Again, talking to somebody else, they said you need a true -4. That is your problem. So we have a new line, new AN fitting, direct in there. It's as direct as it's gonna get. So if that doesn't work, it's gotta be the spring. Again, this little guy right here is just one that breathes off back of the block. We don't have the breather setup made yet. So that's the update on the blow-off valve. Obviously we haven't ran the engine. The downpipe isn't on it because we don't have the new flex for the downpipe. This guy right here, we showed that in the last video. We have one of the new stainless flex, the turbo lock. I'll show you that when it comes in and give you a good detailed look at that so you can see the difference, but we won't be using those bellows anymore. Okay, so the new stainless flex came in. This looks different to a lot of the ones that you see out on the market. A lot of them have this flex here. They kind of have a corrugated piece like this, and then they often have a flex on the inside. This, as you see, is quite a bit different. It's very smooth on the inside, and it's the same diameter both ways. This is known as the turbo lock, and it's designed to be used exactly for what we're using it for. The flex on the inside, I've had them over the years where some cars had come back and I think unburnt fuel would get under here and then sometimes would ignite and blow this apart. We've seen it where this mesh has closed up the hole. Once had a customer, we did a fresh turbo build. He took it to his tuner, tuned it. It made 500 and something horsepower. Then the next day felt like it had no power, pulled it apart, and this flex completely collapsed. So this is the better one. This known as a turbo lock, and I think they spell it L-O-C. Anyway, it's going to replace this. This is the one that rattles. There is a tube that protrudes through here. If you didn't see my last video, this tube is protruding through here, and it's supposed to help the gas obviously bypass this bellow area before it escapes. Well, as we showed, we have a few of these in stock that are all messed up as well. Here's one right here. You can see how the tube is towards the wall. In fact, it's touching on that one. And what sucks is we have a few of these, and there's only one of them that is good out of the batch of 4. This is longer than our flex, and of course we've already made the titanium exhaust. I'm not going to remake that exhaust for this downpipe, and I believe you can see where this tapers down. I think I'm going to put it in our saw and cut it right on that straight right here, which will put that about there, and then we'll just have enough room for that to fit in here. I'm going to take a couple of preliminary measurements, cut this, push it all together and tack it, and then fit it on the car. I don't want to guess and make it, you know, be in a bind. If you don't get this exactly in the same orientation as the exhaust, you can be putting a bit of a tension on this or this way, and you're putting everything under load. Everything wants to be relaxed. You don't want to put it together, and as you bolt it, it starts putting flex on here, flex on the downpipe, flex on the exhaust. Of course, we have our brace here, but everything wants to be sitting there relaxed without tension, and then when the engine torques, obviously everything can move, do what it needs to do. I have cut this down right here. Took a measurement from here, 17 inches to the flange. This should fit in there. Should be a perfect fit, which we could use it. Look at that. So we can get our roof measurement here, which was 17 inches. So that's pretty close right there. It's up there. They're exactly 17 inches, so that worked out perfect. We have enough room, we can weld on here, and then of course this needs to be welded to the cat. This has to be back purged to make sure that the weld is absolutely perfect, there's no contamination on the inside, and we get a good strong weld. So that will fit perfect. What I'm going to do is tack it all together. This, it can move a little bit in there, which what we'll do is bolt it to the car, tighten everything up, tighten that flange to make sure this is perfect. And like I said, everything's relaxed, nothing is under a bind. If it's under a bind, it's going to prematurely wear, break, snap. Something's going to go wrong. Everything needs to be exactly relaxed. That's the word of the day, relaxed. So we'll tack this on here. We know we're not going to have any wiggle room here. This can move here. That will give us the adjustment we need. Of course, the orientation doesn't matter. It's a V-band, and this is the lock-in style, so it has the piece that clips into here to give us a nice tight seal. As you see, it didn't leak. There is no black on the edge here from the gas escaping. So let's get that tacked together, and then we'll test fit it on the car. All right, now we can kind of see this thing. See how we're gonna gap that side, and it's touching there. You see that? That's so annoying because you take the time to build parts and make them fit perfect and use what you think are quality parts, and then this just makes you do it all over again. So that thing, it will repurpose it. Alright guys, so if you haven't seen it, check out the taillight video. I think they call it Taillight Dream or something. Well, we had a little fun with some taillights, so I'll put the link in there. These taillights are in pretty good shape. You know, they're 94 through 98 taillights. Well, my analogy of painting a bridge, you remember where I talked about it? Wherever you stop painting, the rest of the bridge doesn't look so good. It's kind of like this car. Everything is coming out so nice. You see the brakes, how good the brakes look. Still got to put the back ones together and the suspension. Well, I don't want to let it go and have the taillights be the worst thing on the car. I mean, first off, look at the front headlights. This is like the nicest headlights. They're brand new. I mean, they're super rare. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and ordered some brand new Acura taillights right from Honda. So it's gonna look beautiful back here. And of course, I ordered the seals too. These seals get pretty chewed up, as you see. They're just kind of dry rot. And again, I'm not nitpicking these. The taillights are in good shape. But again, look how nice the car is. I've spent so much money on it so far. We can't let go with those taillights. I don't want it to be the worst thing on the car. If you are a long time watcher of the LHT channel, you'll notice some of this stuff. You'll notice the Swiss track style and the ornament, the piece of wire, and now the latest addition to the wall. So we've been working hard on customer cars, so this has kind of been nights, you know, a couple of late nights I've put some time in on this. Of course, the hose clamps. The engine is pretty much ready to start. The catch can hasn't been built yet, but that's not a big concern. That's like the little things that you do afterwards. The wheels should be finished today by AB, and I'm really excited to see how they look. So once we're finished with the car we have right now, I can get to finishing this off. The front brakes are on. Of course, they've got to be bled. Once the back ones go together and we bleed the system, put the suspension on, we can get the wheels on. I'm excited to see how they look because I showed you a color in one of the vlog videos, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. Okay, it's after hours again. I'm heading over to Austin's. He's got the wheels ready for the Integra, the Corvette wheels he finished, he already dropped those off at Dave's. So Dave is putting the tires on the Corvette rims right now. What I'm going to do is pick the Integra wheels off from Austin, drop those off at Dave, let him do the tires either probably tomorrow morning because it's late. I'll pick up the Integra wheels, take them back to the shop. That way, hopefully I want to try and fit in the rest of the parts on the car. Back brakes need to go on, the back skunk tube suspension needs to go on, wheels and tires need to go on, and there's still a bunch more little things, but then at least maybe tomorrow I can get it back on the dyno. And I want to keep the content, but I want to see what that turbo is going to do. Here we are over at AB once again. All right, so these parts look fantastic. Look at the color. Don't say what the color is, because everyone's going to call you and want the LHT color. Yeah,
they're going to want the...
Yeah, don't tell them, because I don't want everyone rolling around with
special gray
control arms with a funny colored silver.
Right.
All right, I got to see the wheels now. Oh yeah, that color looks good.
Were these white before?
They were originally white. I bought these about 12 years ago out of Japan, and they came with some Japanese tires on that was original old dry rotted.
Silver on there?
A buddy of mine about...
Was it powder coated or painted?
No, it was painted.
I was going to say, because I found the white when I came and stripped these down.
Yeah, it was a friend of mine. He kind of did it as a buddy type favor. It was like, you buy the product, and he taped around the H's, which kind of looked all right. Oh, I gotta see these in the sun. But yeah, that's the history. They were white, then he painted them. He painted them 10 years ago. Yeah, that is such a neat color. And the fact that these spokes are square, it has the same look as the Corvette. It's like dark here, light here, but it moves.
Yeah,
it almost looks two-tone, but it's not. That is fantastic.
It's a pretty color, man.
All right, this is called mystery color.
Mystery color
It's
gray.
a super premium to get this, and you can only get it if you're me.
That's true. Or you just have to ask really nicely and Venmo me $1,000.
There you go. Personally, it has to go to Austin.
Has to go to @AustinBBaker on Venmo.
There you go. Done deal. You can get ready for the money to start rolling in. That
exactly.
Is awesome. All right, so if one of you guys sent your valve cover to Austin, it's here.
It's here.
It's getting ready to ship out. I just wanted to show you that. If you're watching and you're waiting.
It's getting dusty. I'm waiting for payment.
Don't say that. It is. I gotta cut that bit out. That's what happens when you're not prepared to put your wheels. So I got a LHT shirt, Kraftwerk shirt, and a rag. I'm going to drop off the Integra wheels and pick up the Corvette wheels.
Okay.
Okay. Are you done with the Corvette wheels or no?
I'm actually trying to beat up the last one there because they're hard, the tires, but I'm on the llast one, so I should have it.
Okay. Heading over to Dave's. I'm going to drop the Integra wheels off. If he's got the Corvette wheels done, I'll pick them up. If not, I'll pick those up tomorrow. Alright, so I got the wheels back from Dave. Don't want to give away the color too much. Can you see them in the back there? They're sweet. I love the color. They're the track wheels for the Corvette. They have the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires on there. I'm going to use those, obviously, for track use, but I want them to look good. Of course, the blue isn't going to do it on that car, and it was a little bit too loud for me, so I'm not going to do any crazy colors. But this color, it's a really cool color. It's going to suit the car. It's going to look different than the black, but still look cool. It'll complement the color of the car. Of course, the car is white, the accents are black, the brake calipers are red, so I want it all to kind of complement each other. So you'll see what the color is when I put them on the car. Alright, so I wanted to show you this hose clamp. This is a hose clamp I used to buy back in the day, and honestly I couldn't remember the brand. They're by Comp Cams. I talked about before, I'm not a big fan of the T-bolt clamps because they look kind of bulky. Well, this is the clamp I originally wanted, and let me tell you why I like it. First off, it's a little bit narrow of a bend over the hose clamps, and the edges are actually rolled, so it's got a smooth edge. It's not going to cut into the silicone connector. Also, the gear is much beefier here. You can crank these down, they don't skip, rather than having the holes cut in here. It's like a raised section, but it's actually pretty tough. You can really crank these down. There are a 7mm socket to tighten it here. But what I also like is it's got a big plain area. You can mount this in this direction here, and you don't see any of the gear because it's all the way back here. They're specific to size, as you see here. this is the size you're going to use to put over a 3-inch silicone connector. What I typically do is trim them down if I need to. This one, I did trim it and round off the edge just so it doesn't have a sharp piece. But they're stainless steel. You can polish these, you can make them look show quality, and they're very easy to work with. You don't have that big long bolt that sticks out here like on the T-bolt clamp. So I'm going to swap the Integra out to these because this is essentially the one that I wanted for the car. So I went ahead and changed all the clamps over because I like these much better. Now everything matches, so it's much cleaner. So if you're interested in those, I'll put the part number in the description somewhere, and you can get them too. I really like them. They're clean, and again, they're easy to remove when needed. A detailed unboxing. You ready? So this is from Doug. You remember I talked about it. He was going to send us a radiator cap and some lug nuts. He came through. So forged lug nut set. I'm going to open this. I'm not going to do our typical unboxing, even though it is highly detailed. And our radiator cap. This should be the one for this radiator. Remember, the coil radiator has the different size, and of course they don't include it with the radiator, which I think is a mistake. It'd be a good idea for them to send you this with a nice coil something on it. People would probably keep it. So here we go. Let's open these real quick. I'll show you what they look like. All right, I'm gonna open this, get George's gang knife out. Ready? Look at that. Gang knife.
Which one do we have? Radiator cap?
Yeah, do a quick slice across there too. Gonna get this one, do a quick gang slice. It's scary. So this feels kind of heavy.
Same size box.
Wow, look how well packed they are.
I like those.
That is nice. You gotta love Skunk 2 for their packaging. If you've ever ordered anything from Skunk 2, their packaging is just perfect. I mean, look at this. It's nicely embossed. It's got their name all over it. It's obviously packaged well, foam. It's not gonna get trashed. And you get one of these. That is, that's one of those. So there's our radiator cap. And again, look how well it's packaged. That way you get it. It's not all scratched up. It's not dinged up. So we're gonna check this, see how close this taper is. Obviously, there is a correct taper to use on a Honda, and you got to make sure that is right. So we're going to double check that against an OEM. We'll actually measure the angle, and then of course we'll put it on with an impact at about 650 foot-pounds to make sure it doesn't come off.
Yeah, we'll run that thing all the way down.
Yeah, you do 14 ugga-duggas. So that is our, look at that, it's so nice. It's like you want to straighten all these.
Yeah.
It's like you want them all the right way around. Look at that. Beautiful, Doug. Skunk 2, thank you again. Really, really appreciate your support. Support those guys. They're supporting us. And we're trying to bring you content. So back brakes are on, front brakes are on, suspension is on, the system is bled. George is going to fire it up real quick. We'll just put a battery charger on it because the battery went dead. I'm going to start it with the new turbo, make sure it runs. We'll see if that thing spins too. All right, go for it. That's always a good sign. Why is the, oh, it's got no O2 in it, is it? I just realized it's noisy. The O2 sensor's out of it. That's it. We left the O2 out because we were tuning it. So down here. Turbo is spinning. Stick your hand in there, George. See if the turbo's spinning. In here? Yeah. It sounds silly, but I once did that. It's not a good idea. No. Yeah, that's that noise. We left the O2 sensor out because that's the reference we was using on the dyno. And does the lockout work? Yeah. Yeah. Alright, what we need to do is do a -8 line. -8? Yeah, we'll go to -8.
We're gonna go straight to 10.
No, let's go 8, then we'll go to 10. And then we'll change the spring.
Imagine we put a 10 and like board that whole top out.
So it's obviously not a vacuum issue. It is a spring issue. But everything's good, there's no leaks. Turbo is spinning. I still want to put my hand in there and touch the nut to make sure, but I'll refrain from doing that. So we're all good. Motor's warmed up now. And if you're asking about this, it's because it's the old valve cover. I would never leave anything metal up here. But this is just now a temporary valve cover. And I'm still adjusting stuff. Yeah, don't hit the valve cover. I'm still actually, don't take that away. I'm still actually, I got to adjust something. Adjusting stuff.
This is the 13, and you're done with that, aren't you?
Well, it's a secret adjusting tool.
Oh,
I don't want to tell everybody. So, okay, it's good. Motor's tuned, it's perfect. Well, obviously, we're going to put it back together, put the wheels on it, which are here. If you didn't see the wheels, by the way, they are awesome. Look at those, they are going to look fantastic on the car. So the wheels have to go on a few of the knickknacks that Scoop is on, which looks fantastic. And then we put it on the dyno and we'll see what that turbo is going to do. So that sounds awesome. We've had a few compliments on this exhaust, and it's exactly how we want it to sound. I mean, not that we designed it that way or anything, but it turned out how we wanted it. So now it's got some heat in it. That blow-up valve looked like it was working a little bit. It's working, it's just not opening all the way. And this motor has really good vacuum. Idle, it's about 22 inches. Full throttle, DXL, it pulls almost 26. So that sucker should pop all the way open and we have no vacuum issues now. But it's only opening a hair. It's still not working properly. You know what?
I don't.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna get a flashlight, I'll get you to turn the engine off. I wanna watch that turbo keep spinning. Alright, so it's idling. I just wanna see it slow down. Alright, shut it off. That is so cool. Should time it and see how long it goes for. Right there, it stopped. Awesome. Okay, so I'm not gonna have time to dyno this thing because everything is being taken extra time. I worked late, got in early Saturday, by the way. So next episode, I promise we're gonna have this thing on the dyno. The brakes are bled, everything is good now, the wheels can go on, and then as soon as we get a window of time, we can put it on the dyno, see what this turbo is gonna do. We're gonna keep the boost exactly the same, wanna see what it responds like, see if the power is any different, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I wanna try and get this edited and get it to you so you guys can watch it. Get a lot of feedback and a lot of people saying they're really enjoying the build, so I'm trying to keep the content coming. So thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next episode, and don't forget, enjoy your car. So that sounds awesome.